So I was making some here after work. Today I was connecting all these wires to all the various sensors in this mini split air handler unit. Now originally this unit just had two sensors. It had a return air temperature sensor and it had this coil temperature sensor going into its board, which then it communicated to the outdoor unit and it, to control the refrigeration, electronic expansion valve, compressor speed, all that stuff. So I'm connecting my bastardized VRB unit to this. So this needs 4 sensors now. So now we still have a return air temperature sensor and we have the one coil temperature sensor, but I had to add another one. So this one's like further down the coil and then this one's like at the inlet. I might have to move this one closer to the outlet, but we'll see how it works. And then I had to add a discharge air temperature sensor. I just put it right there so it could be behind here. Got it zipped in there, and I'm gonna leave this loose until I see that it works. And because of my luck, if I chuck this all in there, then it's gonna have one of them backwards or on the wrong one or something. So let me show you what's going on out here. Man, I didn't even know. My daughter was just over here and we're like, what the heck? She goes, my phone didn't usually alerts me to the weather, and it didn't. It's actually calming down just a little bit, but the wind was blowing really hard a few seconds ago. I'm gonna turn this paper flash. There we go. But this, yeah, like this gate, man. When I opened this gate just about 10-15 minutes ago before I started recording, it would like slam shut. It probably will again. You can hear the trees and everything. Sky just went to shite. So I just kind of covered this thing up real quick. I had the vacuum pump running. It was probably getting about there. I didn't have the micro engage hooked up yet. I just had it running so while I was doing all the wiring. So I just shut off the valve. Hopefully that's all holding tight. I have the wind. Yeah, here comes the wind, man. It's like crazy. When I picked this like table up to set on top of it, it almost blew it out of my hand earlier. So here's a clear cover thing, but this is not an outside, cover. So I'm gonna have to do something, about that when I'm done. Probably have to caulk this up. I don't think the rain's really going to get in there, but anyway. But there you see that motor control board, the FMC board. So there's the 4 sockets up there, that orange, white, green, and yellow. These all got to go in there. These are coming from those 4 sensors inside. So basically, soldered, heat shrink taped, use a label maker. Coil out, I think. Discharge air temperature. The stickers come off. The return air temperature sensor, and then the other coil temperature sensor. So just tuck those up there. So I still have to like run the wires through like a wire clamp into one of the holes. I have just an extension cord on this for power now, which I'll just use it first to test. It does plug into this outlet over here. But here goes the wind, man. So that's, that'll get finalized. So I think leaving the bottom half open is gonna be okay. If a little bit of rain splashes over there, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's my unit it must be 7 o'clock. My unit just kicked up the second stage. Yep, 7 exactly here. That's when our peak time of use ends, and I turn the temperature down. Heard my inverter driven, or my VFD driven compressor speed up to 60. Damn, there goes the wind. Shit, there it comes. This is when you worry that shit's gonna blow away. I was gonna say, outside air sucks in this opening right here anyway through a grill. So it's stuff on this side, that's a drain pan. When these are inside the closet, that stuff right there doesn't necessarily get hurt by moisture since it just drips condensate in there. Just this control box, I don't want that getting all wet. So what's up? Hopefully this is streaming okay. It's on the downstairs wireless router. Nobody's complaining yet, so should be okay. My daughter's waiting for me to take her to get something to eat. You guys already seen all the different batteries I had. Banks of batteries, charging them off my solar. The other day I got into that one that water got into, and look what it did. Corroded, and then these battery terminals just broke off. So I have a couple extras, put it back in there. I was checking my amp draw like every day after work for like all summer long, and then like a couple weeks ago I just stopped doing it. So as I'm walking over here, oh, I was going to show you the spare unit, but I forgot I closed that dang thing up. I have a couple other units back here. Hopefully it's coming in. These are 3-ton tall, you know, VRF units basically. And basically 3 of those wall heads was plugged into one of these, I guess, and it has a total of 4 ports, but 3 of those is 3 tons, each of these 3 tons, but I'm not using those. So, and I have a couple more heads over there, high walls. Here's a 3-ton. I don't know, some of this stuff supposedly had glitches, but some of it might have worked. I don't know, the panel was off on this one and wires are unhooked inside there, so somebody was trying to do something with that. But my goal is I'm going to use these no matter what to build my AC units into, because I like the tall, slender cabinets. Oh man, that wind's catching up. So hopefully I can run the rotary compressor in those off of a VFD. As long as it's a 3-phase, you know, compressor, I should be able to, like AC. But if it's another one of those DC permanent magnet compressors, which is what this is, I guess you can't do that unless you have a VFD that can sync for DC. It has to be made for permanent magnet motors, which my VFDs that I have, the stash I have, are not. So it starts spinning one of these compressors, but then it loses sync. That's somebody in the chat, in the comments, had mentioned that, and I go, that's totally what happened then. Because I changed out a compressor in one of these that another tech condemned, and I brought it home and hooked it up, and it actually started running, but as soon as it would speed up, it would like jump around and then trip the VFD. So I guess I was informed that it was just losing sync, and as soon as it loses sync, I mean, you have to be in the proper relationship for each, you know, permanent magnet as you're pulsing that phase of winding, you know. If not, if it loses sync, it's like putting on the brakes, you know. That's what it would do. So that compressor I had here might have actually been good. I tried it on one of these, it did the exact same thing, so I couldn't use my VFD on here, so, but I'm using the, you know, controller on there. So maybe a VFD like I stuck in here will run the rotaries in those tall units. If not, I might just stick the scroll inside there. I just learned how to control the fans, because I believe those fans are the same control scheme as what I just figured out on the high wall. And if it is, I can make a microprocessor little controller to ramp up my outdoor fans, control them off the temperature or whatever. Anything, you know, basically want to do with those. So I could always just stick my compressor from this in there, and then when I get it, I could just buy another 410 compressor while we're putting the other one, and then get a 410 air handler for my other unit, get rid of that Goodman. Maybe next year, maybe this winter if I get some extra money, who knows. Who knows, the whole fucking economy might turn to shit. The old leader Biden is trying to bully all our jobs to, like, you know, kick us off work because we don't bow down to big pharma. But that's a whole argument I probably shouldn't start right now. Turn off this flash. Anyway, hopefully no LGs. I think those compressors are LG. This is the one that I tried to run last year. I might not have even sealed it back up. I took it out because I just thought it was broke. I did crimp it up. Let's see. If you look close on here, it has a DC symbol. It says 160, 180 volts, whatever. Focus. The light's all in the wrong spot. Oh, it looks like shit to the camera, even though it's clear to me. 160 volts DC at 120 hertz. But it's the DC bus power in these things is 430 volts. So that's just some whatever rating. I think they just shortened the pulses at the higher voltage. Come on, why is this thing not focused? I'm gonna see if there's something on the lens. This is weird. Focus. That's crazy. This thing was not focusing for nothing. That's what it says. It's a DC compressor. It doesn't say LG on here. GMCC, I'm not familiar. There's a little barcode there. If I had a clear enough shot, then you guys could scan it off the screen. But anyway, yeah. The only thing about these compressors is when they turn pretty slow, they have a weird vibration to them. It's caused some issues, but I think we're fixing that. Probably why that one was replaced early on by somebody else. Check the comments again before I go. So you're saying the video is good then, huh? Going back on the comments from a few minutes ago. Yeah, that's why I got this label maker now, so I won't forget what's what. So everything, so I can figure out my own circuitry. Dude, I start working on stuff and then I put it aside, like this turn signal controller for my Can-Am. And it worked. Everything had the normally open, normally close, on period, off period. You know, off period would blank out the brake lights in case the brake light was on to use the same bulb. Just sat here, never hooked it up. But now I think I'm just gonna get some different lamps and not interface it with the brake lights. What else? And just all sorts of, I guess I'm moving, but I had a bunch of circuit boards down here. I've actually been starting to clean up. I got to clean all this out. This has just been getting out of hand. So let's see. Try the OptiDrive E3 for PM. Yeah, a couple people told me about a couple different ones, but the whole thing is my whole scheme is low buck. So a lot of people are always like, "Oh, try this thing, I'll try that." But the whole thing is, I want to try to build as much as I can off of free stuff. Like that I got for free. A condenser unit, that Lennox condenser unit out there, I got for free. The VFDs I got for free. I did buy certain things. I bought a reversing valve and stuff like that, you know, that I had to. But I have, you know, these VFDs. Some of you can see are all discolored from taking them outside, leaving them out there. But they were like new, a lot of them, you know, in these boxes. They were just a mistake and a change out. And somebody gave them to me a couple years ago. And then I have a ABB one up there now, but that's just a little blower one for a carrier. But in a keypad, got to keep that. So handful of stuff. Oh, and I have something else. I don't think I carried it out here yet. I gotta go get it from the house. I brought a blower motor home today to dissect. Here it is. Yeah. Surprised my daughter's not yelling, "What's for din din?" We'll go in a few minutes, but I got this now. This is gonna be something I'm gonna take apart when I get a chance. This is a warrantied out motor. I gotta set the phone down for a second. One of those German branded, whatever, however you pronounce that brand. I don't know why this thing's not focusing. My goodness. Stupid thing, but anyway. This is the new vane axial fan out of a carrier unit. You know how trained President's units have their new electronic fans made by the same brand. They use a 2 to 10 volt speed strategy. Well, so do these. It's just a different harness spec for carrier. These black, yellow, blue is your 230 volts in this case. I think they're all 230. No, this is 460. Oh, it's 460. I'm going to have to use a transformer if I ever test one of these. That's that voltage. But this one is blowing up, I'm pretty sure. So here's your 3-phase input and ground. And then white is common. Orange is your 10 volts plus DC that's generated from the motor, and your gray is the voltage you put back. So you can just put a potentiometer actually between these 3 wires, and use 2 volts as minimum and 10 volts as max speed, one in between. It's pretty cool. This one has something shaking and rattling around and I can hear it, but it's definitely bad. Just like an ECM, when the winding's short on a permanent magnet motor, like this won't keep spinning. It's like real stiff. If you turn it really slow, you can tell the bearings aren't locked. It's electrically shorting out. So it's just like an ECM motor when they ground together or something. I'm hoping I can take it apart and look. So something like that. It's a couple horsepower motor. Yep. So when I get a chance, I'll take that apart. But my whole goal was to finish this. I wanted to get this running today, but I couldn't. Also, my scale. I don't have it. My scale has been broke. I don't even know if I can get it on again. So I might have to borrow a refrigerant scale. This is a critically charged unit. I barely added a couple inches of refrigerant pipe, not enough to change anything. Plus, this coil probably has a couple passes left, so I'm gonna charge it to how it says on the panel, and it should be good. But I think my bathroom scale might not be accurate enough at that, you know, at just 3 pounds or whatever it holds. Got it pulled out of it, so we'll see. I might have to. Maybe if I could talk to brother-in-law to come over, but tomorrow's Friday. He probably ain't gonna want to come over after work. But if they have one at work in our office, I'll borrow it or something. Probably take it home, maybe charge the unit. I don't remember even where I put my scale. I might have thrown it away. I couldn't get it to work last time I used it. It was so worn. Internal switches were screwed up or something. Oh yeah, because I went to bathroom scale. That's what I didn't even see your comment, but yeah, I thought of that too. And I have a good bathroom scale. I just don't think it's gonna be accurate at that low. You know, it's not really calibrated for the first couple pounds, I'm sure. Yeah, not when this holds like 3 point something pounds. So just hold it on one hand. Like, yes, yeah. And this thing has an electronic expansion valve out there, you know, and a variable speed compressor. So VRF units, man, they are really hard to charge other than by weight. And if you lose a little bit, just you want to get one running, they're hard. So on the Toshiba carrier units, the big ones, there is a way just to turn the whole system on full blast. It's actually pretty easy compared to like Daikin and bullshit like that. And I did that for a guy, and I told him, you better come back and recover and weigh in later, buddy. But we'll see if he did. But we got it actually working. We turned everything on balls out and then just charged until like I watched all the superheats. They were like kind of high, and you could look at it on the computer. And then we brought it down to where the coil superheat was dialing in, and it started to get cool coming back to the unit. And we just cut the charging then, and then the unit would only slow down from there and start storing some refrigerant. So it should be okay. But yeah, freaking wind, man, and it's getting dark fast all of a sudden. But it got really dark when the clouds came out. So before I go, I need to make some shelves for this stuff. But this stuff's really started to help me out. All this cheap stuff on Amazon. It must be my daughter trying to open the door. All these little connectors, real fun on the eyes as they're getting old, man, to make all these little connectors, especially these ones right here, man. I got these to make a new data cable that was missing on that one VRP, and they're little tiny freaking Molex little connectors. So I got several of those and a little crimping tool for them, so that's cool. Finally got a big ratchet crimping tool for these instead of using the wrong thing. Strippers. I don't know, I've been buying some stuff. Cheap stuff off of Amazon. And it's good to have the schematics, even though some of the stuff was wrong on the numbers on here. There's all the sensors for that unit. There is as it skips the number, that's 10 sensors for that VRP to work. 4 of them go inside. So T1 goes inside, that's the evap coil in. 2 is your heating liquid temp. That's what's I think on the one side of the electronic expansion valve. 3 is your compressor suction. 4 is your compressor discharge. 5 evap coil out. That's in here. 6 cooling liquid temp. That's the one that goes on the other side of the expansion valve. So that'll be on the side of the expansion valve towards the outdoor coil for cooling mode. And then it's got a condenser out. Return air temp, that's in here. Discharge air temp is in here, and then ambient. There was all sorts of. It knows the temperatures, and that SD card that's in that FMC board in these things, it records like the couple 100 hours worth of data, man. Right here, this board right here. SD card goes in this board, and SD card goes in this one. I don't have an SD card even plugged in here, and it doesn't care. I don't think either one would care. It just wouldn't record or something. They also could put some sort of files on there they put in and boot up or do some sort of sequence, and they can reflash the memory on those things to change the parameters as they do revisions. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully the VRP units wind up, getting their a couple corks out of there. A lot of it's install related too, though. They're obviously pretty cool units, but the unit I put used parts into to make run again, I just pushed that thing up against my partially open garage door and ran that thing for hours, balls out with hot return air and everything, and it didn't quit for me. But I did notice I had to add a piece of cardboard at the inlet to about 8 inches long to keep the hot air from recirculating back in. So I'd like to go back on job sites next time I get to. I want to take some measurements inside that unit, put some Bluetooth in there and close it. I want to see how much air might actually be recirculating, so I might be onto something. Maybe something on some of the trouble areas where some of the hotels have been overheating a little too easy. Maybe it's a combination of environment and just where the units are at and some recirculating air. Maybe they add a little piece of sheet metal there, baffle there. Might actually make all the difference in the world to keep some of those units from tripping. So anyway, I'm gonna get going. Gotta go take the daughter to go get something to eat. So thank God tomorrow's Friday. I'll catch you guys later. I hope to have this running by this weekend if I get a chance. Next Saturday, I think is the 9th. Not the week from now. And I think I might be going back up to the Cinders with the Can-Am again. So see how that works out. So catch you guys later.